welcome to Master Duel. I am finally Platinum 1 after about a grueling week of grinding. I play a Tier 1 deck, maybe even Tier 0 deck, Brigade Zoo. You can see I got 8 winning streaks on my way up here. I was Plat 5 last season. I got down to Gold 1 and I had to fight my way back up. And I've tried all kinds of decks, from Dragon Maid to Try Duelist to Try Zoo, Pure Zoodiac. Last season I got to Plat 5 with Pure Zoodiac. This is my deck. We're running a lot of really random hand traps and the extra deck for Brigade Zoo. So 4 of DXTs. We're missing the baboon one. Into Zeus. Salamangreat here is for in case I start with just Kit. So what you can do is you can run Kit into Salamangreat, and then Kit's ability will trigger. You can pull Narval and then pull Fractal with the Narval. Ancient Warrior Double Dragon is for the bounce, in case I run into anyone that's immune to destruction or card effects. Farajit and Bearbrum is standard for Tri-Brigade. The Desperate Doom Eagle is this is actually really interesting when you pull it out first turn. You got a 4,800 beat stick, it's huge. The Rugal, Appaloosa, access code, and then 2 omens. The card that pushed me over the top, actually I was stuck in Platinum 5 for close to a week. Realistically, people at Platinum 5 are the ones that try. The Platinum 1 people are basically like, they're just playing joke decks, or they're just playing whatever they want, because you can finally play whatever deck you want at that point, since you're not climbing. The Dark Ruler No More, this card, because all I'm really fighting is Drytron, and I keep ending up fighting Drytron. This helps a lot. Forbidden Droplets also help against Drytron. DD Crow, you DD Crow either the Ben 10 or you DD Crow one of the alphas. That'll work. Works great against Eldritch. Not so great against other Tri-Brigade decks, but there are a ton of decks DD Crow's good against. 3 Narval, Max Seed I run at 2. Technically I have a third one, I just don't really want to run the third one. I have a habit of getting myself bricked. My Dragon Maid deck bricked a lot. I had a Thunder Dragon deck, which was optimized, and it bricked a lot. So I'll get to show those decks off now that I'm Platinum. Curus at 2, Kit at 3, Ash Blossom. I had one Royal finish Ash Blossom. I just enchanted it and got some Call by the Graves instead. 3 Zoodiac monsters. That's just kind of to go into Zeus in case I need to go into Zeus. Fractal is the best card here. Winged Dragon of Raw Sphere Mode. This is to counter Drytron. The number of shit I'm using to counter Drytron is insane. Because there's 2 right here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Basically, most of my deck counter is built so that if I run into Drytron, I have multiple outs. Of course, you can still, like, you can not draw into any of them and be completely screwed. Anyways, Raigeki, Feather Duster, these are standard. Card Destruction is an interesting one. Sometimes, because of how special summon heavy this deck is, sometimes Card Destruction can be used to kind of deck out your opponent if they run a Max Seed. I had once where my opponent ran a Pot of Desires, and then they're into a 30 card deck, and then they Max Seed me. So I'm like, okay, summon Zoodiac, run all 5 Zoodiacs into Zeus, and then run and then once you get rid of the Zoodiacs, they become material for the Link summons in the graveyard. So then I linked all my other Link monsters, so they get like plus 13 on top of the 5 that they had, and then card destruction, and they're screwed. So card destruction came in handy multiple times. Sometimes you just run into really bricked hands. But the other thing about Tri-Brigade is you want your cards in the graveyard, so this actually helps a lot. Pot of Desires has helped me a couple of times, but the key to playing Pot of Desires is you want to use your Tri-Brigade effects before you use Pot of Desires, or else what would happen is you throw out, if you throw out a majority of your Tri-Brigade monsters, you can be really, really screwed. Dark Ruler No More basically negates all monster effects and they can't counter with anything. So this will counter your Alistair's Invoker, this will counter your Drytron, this will even counter Tri-Luralisk where they summon the Simog with the Draco Future and the freaking statue, Wind Barrier statue, or any of the Luralisk. I run 2 Lightning Storms, and it's actually a bad idea to run Lightning Storm alongside Fire Formation Tenki, because sometimes Tenki just completely blocks out your Lightning Storm, and now you're just running 2 dead cards in your hand. But think about the stuff that I'm using against Eldritch. Like, there's 2 right there, 2 Lightning Storms, Feather Duster's 3, BD Crow is 5, Call by the Grave, cross out. At one point I ran an Eldritch in my deck just to counter Eldritch, but yeah, I'm running several back removal, backline removal, and a bunch of like banish just to deal with Eldritch. Right into our replays here. Unfortunately, some of the better like replays I didn't get to keep because I didn't know you can only have 10 replays. So anyways, you see a lot of these games end really early, particularly towards, like, you'll notice as I get higher into like the rankings, the turns will end a lot faster. Okay, this was back when I was in Platinum 5. Platinum 5 to Platinum 1. Platinum 4 to Platinum 1 took me 1 day. A lot of decks, the decks gets progressively worse from Platinum 3 to 1 because people start playing whatever. So this opening hand, I had no idea what the heck my opponent was playing. He was playing Cubics. So the question here is, do I have a OTK in my hand here? And I believe I do. Because what I can do is Fractal drops 3 and then Tri-Brigade drops 1. I probably can do a decent amount of damage. My plan is to pop that card in the back, the face down card in the back. But what happened was they Ash Blossomed my Fractal, so at that point they Ash Blossomed the Fractal, so I'm like, okay, I guess I'll go Pot of Desires, which is really risky because I can discard a whole bunch of my Tri-Brigade monsters and be completely screwed. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5 Tri-Brigade monsters that got discarded. That's actually really bad. But what I was able to get was the I got the Whiptail. So by summoning Whiptail and sending the Zoodiac monsters to the grave, the Exceed monsters, that's about 5 materials I can throw into the grave. And I make a misplay here. I should have did what I should have did was go straight into Dryden, because I thought Dryden can pop the face down. Totally forgot that it only pops face up cards. So what I did was, what I should have done was go into Trident first, pop the card, and then switch into Chakanai and then discard a card. That way I might have more monsters on the field for linking. Anyways, that's one material difference, and sometimes one material difference is a difference between an access code and a Rugal. which is something like 3,000 damage. Anyways, here I pop the back card, and now I don't think I have the lethal here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 3 here. I know I exactly had 3. So this is an access code coming out, and my player was going to be access code into Tri-Brigade Revolt. With access code on the field and a Dryden sitting right there, access code popping the back card. At that point, with a Tri-Brigade Revolt face down, my opponent was pretty screwed here. So that is a basic combo right there. And I can also go into Zeus with this if I wanted to. And I think here my opponent surrenders, because at that point you're pretty screwed. There's not much you can do. Actually, this was the latest one. That was the one right before I got into Platinum 1. This was an earlier duel. Tri-Brigade Zoo is actually has a pretty good, like, it's a going second deck. I have a whole bunch of hand traps, so mostly going second deck, but also I can OTK people on the second turn if I have the right combination of cards. Anyways, here I believe I make max use of the DD Crow, but here I end up going first, so I do our standard fractal business, drop all your stuff, and then I picked up a fractal because I already have a Karis on hand. So Karis comes out into Farajit. Farajit summons. Okay, that just, I don't have to have a special summon there. And then the Bear Brum here, and then I go into a Appaloosa. This is actually a decent opener, and it's fairly standard for Tri-Brigade to do that, do this opening combo. Just have Appaloosa out in the open, and then Fractal on the side, and then whatever hand traps you have. And then I believe I get to draw a Revolt here. I get to draw a Revolt off the Bear Brum's ability. I decided to keep DD Crow over the Ash Blossom, just because I have no idea what my opponent's playing. Realistically, I probably should have kept the Ash Blossom, but like, it's very likely to be Eldritch. My opponent didn't respond to any of this, so that means they're not holding Max Seed, they're not holding Ash Blossom, so I don't think they have any hand traps. So realistically, I should have held on to Ash Blossom, but I held on to DD Crow instead. One of the reasons to hold on to DD Crow is if I were to use it, I can get a 4th material, so I can summon Omen. And I end up ditching the DD Crow for, if they only had one card, I ended up ditching the DD Crow for the Revolt, and I had to give back the Ash Blossom. Anyways, opponent comes out here with the Feather Duster, and then I just activate the Revolt anyway. I did not know that by activating Revolt, Maxi draws 2 cards, by the way. So my opponent actually plays it right here. I activated the ability there, she canceled my ability. And then you'll notice that he doesn't kill Appaloosa. Anyways, I did not know that Maxi draws 2 cards like this. Like, when I originally thought he would draw 4, but I was like, okay, you draw 1 because I summon Omen. But realistically, he draws 2 because 1 for the summoning of the 4 monsters and 1 for the summoning of Omen. Anyways, but now I got all my guys back in the graveyard, and I get to mill some more stuff and get a little bit of card advantage back out. And my opponent's also playing Tri-Brigade, and you'll notice that my opponent actually plays it a little bit better than I am. Because because he does his fractal combo there. I try to counter it, and it turns out I have no ability. It's still his turn, and what he does here is he kills my other 2 units, and he leaves Appaloosa alive, which I thought was like, okay, big mistake. Turns out, no, it was actually a smart play. Anyways, his Omen comes out. I still activate it anyways, just like, might as well. So my Omen gets banished, and then my Fractal gets hit in the face. And then she loses everything. Which was really bad. I did not see that coming. But I drew out a Feather Duster, so that's good. I opened Feather Duster there. I was expecting that to be Revolt. It wasn't. And since it wasn't Revolt, my opponent, since it wasn't Revolt, I went to my combo. My opponent max seeds here. They're gonna get 1 card, but at this point, I'm hoping to just be able to OTK them. Because I have Appaloosa on the field. Anyways, we're gonna go into access code here. So that's all. He already drew 2 cards, and I'm basically just clearing his board with the access code effect. Drop 1. I believe I drop Appaloosa here. Or at least I should have dropped Appaloosa to break him, because at this point she's kind of just dead on the field. I believe at this point I was like, shit, I should have dropped Appaloosa, which I didn't. But anyways, so now my opponent is kind of, I already know what he's playing. He's playing Tri-Brigade without Lureless, so this is either straight Tri-Brigade or Tri-Brigade Zoo. The most important thing to do to counter Tri-Brigade is when they throw out the 1 monster, you negate the effect of them summoning the Link monster. And here, what happens is, I was pretty sure they didn't have a Curus in hand, but they just drew 3 cards. So at this point, I just have to wait to see what my opponent plays, because he has 6 cards on me. So Fractal goes out, Kit goes out. And at this point, I'm counting the number of Fractals and Kits. So that's their 3rd kit, and they pulled a kit with, and right there they pulled a kit with Marvel, which meant that when they played the Pot of Desires, they banished some of their cards, because that's probably not the one you want to pull. You either want to pull Fractal or you want to pull Curus. But anyways, she summons Kit, which means at that point I was pretty certain that he didn't have Fractal or Curus in hand. I'm mostly concerned about Curus, because if he summons Curus, because Curus is special summon, so if I negate the Kit and he summons Curus, I'm screwed. So here, I know he doesn't have Curus, so immediately go into the Forbidden Droplets, and they can't summon anything. I have a 58 attack beat stick out. He just runs into me here, and that's the key to stopping. And that's the key to stopping Tri-Brigade. If you stop the effect of the monster, they're completely screwed. And I think that was a decently good mirror match. I believe here I was at Plat 3 or 4. But that's how you play Tri-Brigade against Tri-Brigade. A lot of it is sometimes you gotta keep track of like what your opponent discarded and what they played. So just so it makes sense. Anyways, next match here. This is Eldritch. Opponent plays Curse Lands and then gets Golden Land Forever, which is weird. I don't think that's normally the card they would get. But anyways, banishes 3, or actually banishes 6. I see the Imperial Orders there. Goes for the cross-out designator. He went for cross-out designator over the Imperial Orders, which I think was weird. I guess that's to prevent me from Lightning Storm or Feather Dustering, but even then, it's weird that they went that route instead of the... Because they had multiple good options, right? You could have pulled the Nibiru, you could have pulled the Golden Lord, so that means they probably had a Golden Lord in hand. And then, instead of getting Imperial Orders, they got Cross-Out Designator, which is weird. Might have been a misplay. Anyways, so my turn. This is a mistake. Setting Infinite Impairment. Well, normally you want to set them where the 2 link zones are, and then you block out the other link zone. So when you activate Infinite Impermanence, it blocks out the link monster's abilities. But this is Eldritch, so it doesn't really matter where I put it. But normally you want to put it here or here. So I'm gonna I'm gonna go for the Zeus here. And I'm just stacking them at random because I know I'm going Zeus. On the other hand, if I'm going Zeus, putting Infinite Impermanence down is also kind of dumb. But anyways, I popped the Golden Land for some reason. Trying to figure out, because I know they didn't have Imperial Orders out. They might have Skill Drain. But I'm going into Zeus here. Zeus is one of the more difficult cards for Eldritch to deal with because it has it has a lot of defense, and Zeus can chain off of himself. So I attack here and I go into Zeus. I think the reason I popped that card with Dryden is just to see like what my opponent would do. To test like what the heck do they have. And that's the reason why I have 4 Exceed monsters, because even after I pop one with Dryden, I still have 4 materials on the Zeus. But anyways, here's the Elixir to summon Eldritch. I feel like my opponent probably played the Eldritch wrong, or got bricked pretty hard. Anyways, Feather Duster goes out. And I just kind of let it. They don't have an Eldritch on hand, so I actually looked at this card and I was like, okay, they didn't have an Eldritch on hand, they're not going to blow me out. So I chained into the Explosion there. I chained into the Explosion there. I think what they were trying to do was, because of the way the resolve works, the Elixir would have summoned Eldritch, and then you would have an Eldritch on the field for the Link 1 to destroy my Zeus. But I blew it up once, and then I blew it up again because Eldritch would have hit the field, and that's why I believe I used the ability twice here. Using the ability twice here, both of us gets knocked out, and he went for the kill right there to knock out the Zeus. So that's one of those times where like you have to use Zeus's ability twice. I took a hit to the face, which is fine, but then I draw, I think, DD Crow or Call by the Grave. No, I drew Card Destruction. Card Destruction here is actually really good. I can't Raigeki him, so that would have wasted a card. So Card Destruction, and then I draw into this, and I'm just like, oh wow. So Call by the Grave. I took out the Eldritch here. I believe that also affects the one that's on the field. But look at that, I get that Card Destruction was so good. I basically got a full Tri-Brigade play right there. Pull another Fractal. Fractal summons I believe I popped him somehow. And then at that point my opponent knew he was screwed. Because that's an access code right there, so 5,300. There's a 4,800 there. 4,800 hits into him, and then 5,000 hits into him, and then I hit him for another 2,000. That's enough to kill him. Oh, did I fight the same opponent twice? No. They just both have that Karibo sticker. But yeah, there you go. Against Eldritch. Realistically, I felt like my opponent didn't have Eldritch's full power because they didn't draw into the... They didn't pick up the Imperial Orders. They didn't pick up the Skill Drain. But the double explosion was... I think the double explosion was key there. Otherwise, he would have had two Eldritch in play. Anyways, I remember going into this battle, I was like, summon a third guy so I can spear mode. I really wanted to spear mode here. But that didn't happen. This is Heroes. He actually does a bunch of he does a bunch of linked hero plays, which I think is kind of uncommon. Most hero decks I fight usually go either like Malicious Bane or Malicious Bane, Sunrise, Dark Law, you know. Like, I'm just hoping he would end on a board of 3, but when he pulled out the third one, I'm like, okay, he's not ending on that. So he links again, which is weird, because I'm not expecting Link hero play, I'm expecting Fusion hero play, right? So he ends the board like that, which I'm looking at this as like, what the hell? So now this is awkward for me. Because I can't Lightning Storm the Absolute Zero, and I also can't Sphere Mode them. So I'm like, what the hell do I do here? Draw into the Forbidden Droplets. Realistically, I should have what I should have done was Forbidden Droplet first. But anyways, that's what it is. I didn't end up doing Forbidden Droplets. I did Lightning Storm, and they tributed that for Acid, which I thought was okay. And I guess there was a series of chain. This is to get rid of the Absolute Zero's ability. So Absolute Zero didn't blow up his own board, and he gets the mass change back again. So at this point, I'm like, well, I got nothing else I can do, so I'm going for Zeus. I believe I do try to pop him. I popped the guy in the back with Drayden midway. I popped him with Drayden, and then I'm going into Zeus. This was a different deck at the time, and the reason I did this play. This is a different deck at the time. Instead of the double dragon, I had Draco Future, and I thought it was possible to do this play and then go into Draco Future, because once I have Draco Future, I can hit into him, and any effect they do, I will negate it and take their monster. Turns out that wasn't the case, and it also turns out I already used my normal summon, so I can't use Raw Sphere mode either. So here I'm just going into Zeus. I had no choice. So there goes Zeus. Zeus is in defense mode because of Lightning Storm, just in case my opponent has Lightning Storm. I thought that was a negate. It wasn't. They just summoned him to the field, which also got him cleared out. So we got Zeus out, and that's it. They got 2 cards. We have a slight card advantage. Didn't really make a difference because my opponent's still going into freaking Miracle Fusion. I think I lose this. I don't think he can hit into the Zeus at this point, and my opponent misplays there. He drops 2 max seeds, and then he forbidden droplets me, and then realized it doesn't remove my defense. It only lowers my attack. So that was that. but it just goes to show you the versatility of this deck. I for real thought that when Chakanine brings back a Zoodiac monster, I can go immediately into Draco Future. Nope. That would be pretty overpowered, by the way. There are Zoodiac decks that run Draco Future. But anyways, here's a skill drain moment. Opponent runs this, and I run into a similar opponent that runs this type of True Draco again as well. So I ran to True Draco twice. Anyway, skill drain goes out. I'm like, okay, Drayden. I pop the skill drain right here. And then because the Drayden is no longer on the field, skill drain pops. And then into the card destruction. Realistically, because I'm playing, what I should have done was stack the Zoodiacs so that I have 4, and then I pop it with pop the skill drain with Draco, pop the skill drain and pop my Exceed monster with the Forbidden Droplet. That way I have 5 Beast Warriors in the deck, and then if I draw into a Tri-Brigade card, I can go into Omen or whatever I want right away. But anyways, that's not the case, and it turns out just having 2 is more than enough. So he tries his ability here, but already blocked by Forbidden Droplets, so good. Card destruction goes out, and it removes a Raigeki. That was awesome. So now I have exactly 3 monsters, which is all I need because here comes access code. I actually thought for a moment whether or not I should hit with the Desperate Eagle. But I was like, I'm gonna go into access code. The other reason why I went into access code is because I need to pop this Feel card here. So I pop the Feel, and then I hit him. And now my opponent only has 1 card. He's facing down access code Talker, Infinite Impermanence, and a Fractal in my hand. And then I was like, okay, he has 2 cards. So he actually draws into what he needs here. Plays a random trap, tributes the trap, and the trap activates. And my access code goes down, and I get a hit in the face, which is really awkward. Not what I was expecting would happen. I was pretty sure I had that right there, but they got what they needed. So here, goes out Fractal, tries to stop me, and I Infinite Impermanence him. But the setup, normally the setup if you're gonna have to set Infinite Impermanence would be, you take one of these columns and then you slap your big boss monster on the other column. Anyways, here goes the regular Tri-Brigade setup, and at this point I have a bunch of beast monsters. I have a bunch of Tri-Brigade type monsters. Realistically, it could have gone a lot better if I had dumped more Zoodiac monsters there, but at this point he's pretty screwed because Omen's coming out. Omen vanish and then just hit him and he dies. So realistically, card destruction is actually really, really good. Especially for these type of hands where it doesn't really matter. And I think this is the last one. We did fight Elish, but it wasn't very good. We did fight True Draco, but I also had a pretty god hand. I had no idea what this is, but when I see Pendulum, it scared the hell out of me. Anyways, so I had to do some reading here. Cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects. So, anyways, Feather Duster goes out here. I think my opponent surrenders. But anyway, just go through the motions of the Tri-Brigade there. So that's 3 Tri-Brigade there. Special summon into the 4th one. Drop them all. And that was a mistake because I can't use Lightning Storm after I use Tenki. So I shouldn't have used Feather Duster, I should have used Lightning Storm. But after my opponent's field cleared, I should have a OTK there. This one probably did not go. A lot of my second turns I had the OTK, or I can try the OTK, but it didn't go well. Anyways, these were all one. You can see the time stamps, basically one back to back. I think these two are from yesterday, and then these are all from back to back. And I was Platinum 2 and I keep running into Platinum 5s and 4s. Realistically, I'm more scared of a Platinum 5 player than a Platinum 1 or 2 player. Platinum 1 or 2 players are playing really random stuff. You're just not, like, because you can't drop rank at Platinum 1. At that point, I'm free to play whatever I want. So, next we're going to probably spotlight either Dragon Maze or Thunder Dragon or Tri-Brigade Leorlisk. These were the decks that I played the most. There are a whole bunch of other decks. These are the decks that you get from playing the mission. But alright, thank you guys all for watching. Doltemichi signing out.